Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Thank you very much for stopping by in this rather obscure but still beautiful part of the campus. Not so easy to find when you come from the forum. My name is Hermann Schumacher. I'm the director of the Communications Technology Master Program at Ulm University. And it's a great pleasure to introduce Innocent Keno, who is a communications technology alumnus, graduated in 2008, and moved back to his native Nigeria, where he has had an astounding career with Alcatel. And he will tell you what it's like to graduate from maybe a little bit of studying here and graduating from Ulm University and transitioning to the real life. Innocent, please.
Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Innocent Aki, and like the professor has mentioned, I schooled here. I did my master's in communications technology here. So first of all, I would like to thank you for coming. You could have been anywhere else, but you decided to come for this presentation. I really appreciate that. Please give yourselves a round of applause. And again, I would also like to appreciate the impact that this university has made on me and the administration of this university for giving me this opportunity to share with you some thoughts. And particularly, I would like to thank Professor Schumacher for his mentorship and his words of encouragement that have really made a lot of impact in my career. I want to thank you, sir. Please give him a round of applause on my behalf. Okay, so today, what will I be talking about? Under the subject, Graduates of Ulm University Reports, I want to briefly talk about my time here, what led me to Ulm, and briefly tell you how I fared here and the life after graduation. And at the end, give you a few concepts that probably helped me that could be useful to you. So I don't know what you were expecting, but that is how I've structured my presentation. I hope you find it interesting. So I'll just go ahead first to tell you, not just to show you Ulm. I'm sure you already know Ulm. You know Ulm is the healthiest city in Germany. Very interesting place. There are no floods, there are no hurricanes. And so you can as well, it's a very nice place. This picture was taken from somewhere around the Donau, from the bank of the Donau. It will also interest you that Ulm is the birthplace of Albert Einstein, and it's a very innovative region where you have a lot of opportunities, you have a lot of companies here, you have a lot of development going on here, and this is the best place to be. But why did I come to Ulm? How did I end up in this place? And what value did I get from this school? That brings me to my story, which I'm going to give you in the next slide. On this slide, you will see me somewhere in the city. And this one was just about when I finished my thesis, made my presentation, and was basically done with my studies. The lower one is from one of the excursions that we went for. And at the middle, you see Professor Schumacher, and just me next to him there. And somewhere here, you see Dr. Reimer, who was the program coordinator. And there's another lady there that was an official of the school. So what motivated me? How did I come to Ulm? Before coming to Ulm, I've done my first degree in electrical electronics and was working with Alcatel-Lucent as an engineer. I was basically commissioning microwave links, my mobile radio systems, and all of that. But at some point, I decided I needed some further education. I wanted to take that next step in my career. So I made applications to multiple schools around Europe, and I had 3 admissions. I had admission in University of Leeds, I had admission here in University of Ulm, and one in Sweden. So I was trying to choose which one was best for me, but fortunately for me, the MD, the managing director of Alcatel then was a German, and he convinced me that it was best to come to Ulm. And quite honestly, I don't regret coming to Ulm. It has had a profound impact in my career. So I got the admission. After deciding which one to come for, I wrote Dr. Reimer, and I told her, well, I'm interested in coming to Ulm. And the kind of support she gave me was outstanding. She supported me in getting my hostel accommodation, helped me with visa, helped me with a lot of things, and my coming was pretty smooth. But I arrived a bit late. I came in first week of April. It was very snowy that time. And to be frank with you, it was extremely cold. You don't want to get an African coming to a snow region. So and when I arrived, I didn't really have any knowledge of the language. I couldn't say hello even in German. I was zero as far as the language was concerned. So I had this fear that, how am I going to cope? Am I going to be only talking to the students in the school? But fortunately for me, my hostel mates, guys that were in my hostel, they were very friendly. They were really nice. In fact, within the first 24 hours, we were already drinking our first crate of beer together. So it was a very smooth one for me. The experience was very good. I came to school. I met a couple of friends, made friends with my classmates, went to Bayok for orientation, went on several excursions like this one, and then we bonded pretty fast. And we made friends. But then my challenge came when the first exam, when we were to do the first semester exam. The German language exam was pretty simple. We just wrote that. But then my first major exam was an open book exam. And I haven't done anything like that before. So I went to the exam hall with some books. I was thinking, okay, this is very simple. I can just carry the books there and solve everything. And then I got in there, I was flipping from page to page, and it was like the more I looked, the less I saw. So I was not getting anything. For it was meant to be, I think, 2 hours exam. For 1 hour, 30 minutes, I was completely disoriented. And for the last 30 minutes, I said, okay, let me just dump these books and write something. How I passed till this day, I can't even understand. It was more so that experience brought out something for me, because I left the exam all very furious. I was like, how can I come to all this far to a program and I can't even write the exam? I was expecting I was going to fail. And when the result came out, I just managed to pass. So the first semester was very tough. When the results came out, my result was really, really pathetic. It was terrible. And I was very furious. I got tired. I said, I'm going to leave this program. But I walked to Dr. Reimer, the lady that's in the picture, and I told her, look, I feel this thing is not for me. I don't feel if my grades are not this good, I was expecting 1.0. I'm getting very dangerous scores that I think I have to leave. She listened to me and she talked to me and she said, well, it's not all about the grades, that just pass through the program, you'll learn something. Eventually, that was what I did. The next semester, I was pretty lucky. Then I saw 1.3 in my results, so I got encouraged. And luckily, I passed through everything. I had fun in town, had a lot of friends. But in my academics, I wasn't really exceptional. So for me, when I was finishing, I felt, okay, is this it? I didn't really see much value until when I left school. It was at the point where I finished from the program, and I got an offer from Alcatel, now Alcatel-Lucent, as a technical project manager, first level. I got in there, and that was when I began to see the value for what I learned here. Because I was made the TPM for, Technical Project Manager TPM for a mobile operator that had millions of subscribers, and they had this challenge in their transmission network that's been on for more than a year. And they couldn't solve it. They had a lot of issues. The customer was having a hard time with Alcatel-Lucent on this thing. And then I go with my superiors to the meeting, my first meeting with the customer, and my superior says, well, this is your problem. You don't need to worry. This German guy is going to solve it. And before we went for the meeting, he never told me anything about it. I didn't even know anything about it. But luckily for me, applying what I learned here, I had some very, very good fundamentals I picked up here, and some other books that I also read. Within 3 weeks, I was able to get the solution of the problem, tested it in the lab with my engineers, and came out with a manual to solve that problem completely. And that problem, we had about more than 1,000 network elements affected. So when we did that, honestly, my superiors were pleasantly surprised, and I think that really opened the door for me, because the customer now had confidence in me. They had a lot of respect for me. So when I come to face them and I present something, they're very willing to listen because they saw what happened. And from that point, that was when my career changed. How did all this come about? This all started from this place. And there were certain things that I learned here, not only the academics. There were certain concepts that trigger these things. And those are some of the concepts I want to share with you. Now, why am I telling you all this story? I'm telling you this because I believe that you can actually take your destiny in your hands and really run with it. You can actually achieve much if you set out to achieve something. So in trying to introduce some of the concepts that I grabbed while here, either from academics or while reading books during my master's program, I'm going to go to the next slide. And one of the things I want to talk about is value. Value. What is value? Let me just explain this with some illustration. Now, talking about value, I have in my hands two currencies. The one on my right is the Nigerian naira, and the one on my left here is the euro. The both of them are the same denomination, the 100 naira and 100 euros. If you check the size of these two, they're about the same size. And I don't know, maybe the materials, it could be similar, the material they used to make this thing. They're the same size, but in value, if you check the value, this one is 200 times the value of this one. What that means is, if this can buy me a Coke, I can buy 200 Cokes with this one. If this one can buy me lunch, I can buy lunch for 200 people with this one. So even though they are the same in terms of size, they are the same in terms of denomination, they are valid currencies that you can use to buy things, they don't have the same value. The value is different. Now, why am I talking about value? The reality is you need to know what your value is. What is your current worth? Why should that employer go for you instead of going for the other person? Why should they choose to promote you instead of the other person? The reality is price is what you pay, but value is what you get. If you do not have value, then you cannot really sell yourself. The point is, in life, there are certain things, the employer might not even like you. He might not like your shirt, he might not like your shoes, They might not like your face. But if you have value, you can sell yourself. And I've come to see that what makes people succeed when they leave the school atmosphere is mostly the value they have gotten for themselves. It doesn't rest purely on the grades and the paper that you come out with. They're looking at, okay, yes, we've got this paper, that shortlists you into a certain group, but they're actually looking for value. And that value is determined by many factors. One, it could be, your value depends on your knowledge, your understanding, it depends on your contacts, but primarily it depends on your philosophy. From my personal perspective, I feel if you have the right philosophy, you can really go far. Now, if I take the ant, for instance, the ant does not have any technology. Without the benefit of computers or internet and all of these things that we enjoy, the ant still runs its colony through winter, through summer, simply because it has the right philosophy. The ant knows the value of work, and it drives itself. Science has made us understand that to every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. For every value that you get, there is always a specific demand. So I would like to propose to you to think about it. Ask yourself, what value do I have? What value do I get from this program? What value can I get from this system? Because if you do not appreciate the concept of value, you might have all the opportunities around you, but you might not take them. So what value can you take from this system? Or what value can you give to this system? Why am I talking about value? That brings me to the next slide. The race. We are all in a race. Every one of us, we are in a race. And you are not only racing against the next person to you or the community, you are racing against yourself. Your best person, your perfect self, your ideal. You are racing against your ideal. What I mean is this. If you know that you can get 100 things done, and you are only doing 50 of it, you're actually not raising your best. And if you do not understand the purpose, the concept of us being in a race, you might just take that lax attitude and say, well, anyhow, I'll just get by. And when you do that, you discover that you are too early old and too late smart. So what I came to learn here pretty early while I was here is, I read quite a lot of books while I was here. Apart from the academics, I probably read up to 20 management books. Is we're all in a race. And the value you have determines how you end up in the race. So it's something that every one of us should consider. For us that are in the program, for us that are considering entering into a program, before you get into the program, you check what value is this program going to add to me? How can I enhance the value? Because you might have something that you're doing. By adding something small, you can multiply the impact of that. Now, when I say the raise, for instance, I give you an example. Now, what this school has done is they bring people from different countries, and all of these people come to the same class, work together from multiple cultures, and they graduate and they leave. There was one benefit I found from that. While passing through the program, I was able to meet people from Bangladesh, from Egypt, from Turkey, from Russia, from all of these different countries. And I learned a lot about their culture. And believe you me, when I left the school and went into job, that gave me a very, very good leverage. when I'm managing people now, because I'm managing teams from maybe up to 20 different countries, my understanding, I flow very easily with them. I don't have clashes with them because I have already experienced it while I was a student here. I've mixed up with these people. I know how they think, and no two cultures are identical. So one thing to do is you want to be able to, while you are competing with your colleagues and your contemporaries, you want to be able to look inward, check yourself, and see your ideal and say, am I really measuring up to my potential? And why should we focus and acknowledge that we're in a race and put in our best? Result is the name of the game. The final thing is your result. And result itself, the best results come when opportunity meets preparation. It's when your opportunity meets preparation that you get the best results. Now, looking at this picture, I specifically choose this picture to illustrate something. Now, this man here, his name is Yakubu. I'm from Nigeria. In Nigeria, we have about 167 million people. And earlier in the year, we had the London Olympics. And we sent 55 people to the Olympics representing the 167 million people. Of the 55 we sent there, everybody competed, but none of them came back with a gold. They didn't win any gold. They didn't win any silver. I'm not even sure if anybody won anything. And everybody was complaining. Everybody was lambasting them, how they were not serious, how they got distracted. Everybody was just talking. Soon after the Olympics, there was the Paralympics. And they sent about 7 to 10 people there. And Yakubu was one of them. And could you believe it? Within the first few days, this guy, he won the gold in his weightlifting category. Not only did he win, he broke the world record in that category. How come 55 people, able-bodied people, healthy people, could not achieve what a physically challenged man could achieve? How did he achieve it? It was simply preparation, meeting his opportunity. He was ready when his opportunity came. He was fully prepared. He didn't start training at the Paralympics. He knew the time would come and he was ready for it. My question to us today is, are you ready for your opportunity? Yes, you are putting in a lot of effort. You want to get this kind of career. You want to get this. You want to get that. If you are given that opportunity right now, can you take it and make it a success? Would you be like Yakubu, who will break all the records? It's a question that I keep asking myself, and I want us to think about. Now, victory loves preparation. Now, I will just use one illustration that helped me in my career. When I came here to Ulm, from the beginning, I knew I had already had some years of experience, and I knew I needed years of experience uninterrupted while I was studying. So I looked for a job that was in the line of my previous work experience and what I wanted to do. And I was doing a student job there while I was working. There were other opportunities. You know, some of my friends chose to go and work in factory. Some wanted to go and sell burgers, flip burgers, and all of that. We were making some money. But at the end of the day, when I came out of school and I applied to Alcatel-Lucent, I told them, see, for the last 2 years, yes, I was studying, but I've acquired this skill, I've worked like this. So in their records, there's nothing like I lost 2 years. I worked in that same line I was working. Now, that resulted in them promoting me pretty fast, because if I had done something like I was selling burgers, there's nothing that relates with network and burgers, you know. So, in a nutshell, what am I trying to say? I came for this program. The system brought a lot of value to me. It taught me resilience. It taught me clearly that I needed to be very disciplined. And I was able to get some very good results by following a few concepts. The time I have today is limited, but I'm going to end this presentation now. Well, I will end with a quote from Frank Fanon in his message to the youth of Africa, when he said that he said something in his message to the youth of Africa. He said that the future will have no pity for those men who, having the exceptional privilege of making impact, but have decided to rest themselves in an attitude of passivity, of mute indifference, and sometimes of cold complicity. It is quite easy for people to say, okay, let me just rest, and I hope something comes. Those that actually will make it, and those that will get the result, must first create value in themselves, know how to run the race, and know how to get the result. Now, my challenge to you today is this. Today is the first day of the rest of your life. How would you approach your mission? Are you going to approach it with a clear strategy and add value to yourself that will later pay off with good result? Or you're going to relax and just let things come by? I leave the question to you. How would you approach it from today? Thank you very much. I stop there.